Everyone. Good morning to our friends from the media and my fellow panelists from the Philippine Coast Guard, the Philippine Navy, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Since late last year, the People's Republic of China has been establishing its own perspective and narrative of what is normal in areas it claims within the West Philippine Sea. China used this increasing incursion into the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines as part of its regular maritime activities within areas it claims ownership of. This is a narrative that the National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea strongly opposed and challenged, as this goes against international law, particularly UNCLOS, and the ruling of the Permanent Court of Arbitration in 2016 on the West Philippine Sea. We wish to reiterate, as clearly stated by the National Maritime Council yesterday, the Philippines has long-standing sovereignty over Bajo de Masinloc and its territorial sea, as well as sovereign rights and jurisdiction beyond the territorial sea. And these are clearly stated in the Philippine Maritime Zones Act. There is nothing regular with the actions of Chinese vessels in these areas. The presence of the monster ship in our waters is illegal and inconsistent with the exercise of freedom of navigation and innocent passage. It is clearly a provocative act. It is also a clear attempt to intimidate our fishermen and deprive them of their legitimate livelihood. It is, in short, an intimidation tactic used by the PRC to break the spirits of our fisherfolk and discourage them from fishing in the West Philippine Sea, their traditional fishing grounds. I think they are underestimating the resolve of the Philippine government to support our Filipino fishermen. As a nation, unified in securing what is rightfully and legally ours, we do not and will not dignify these scare tactics by backing down. We do not waver or cower in the face of intimidation. On the contrary, it strengthens our resolve because we know we are in the right. We wish to reiterate the legitimacy and effectivity of the 2016 Arbitral Award and the Philippine Maritime Zones Act. It remains unquestionable and irrefutable. We remain committed in enforcing all necessary means to protect what is ours. Through our various maritime assets, we continue to strongly and firmly enforce the Philippine Maritime Zones Act, international law, and the 2016 arbitral ruling in protecting and securing our interests and national security to safeguard the national interest as well as the rights of Filipino fishermen. These forms of intimidation and coercion have not only strengthened our resolve to protect the West Philippine Sea, but have also galvanized the international community in support of our country's position, international law, and the rules-based international order. Maraming salamat po.
Thanks, sir. At this juncture, may we request our Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, Philippine Navy, for his introductory remarks.
Amid all the developments in Bajo de Masinloc and the West Philippine Sea, to include the Northern Islands, the Philippine Navy and the entire armed forces has not been deterred in performing its mandate of conducting maritime patrols and air surveillance flights. What is happening in Bajo de Masinloc is unacceptable. We will keep performing our mandate of patrolling the seas and flying the skies. Secondly, as an update on the submersible drone, while we have submitted it already for analysis and forensics, the AFP is concerned that there are such equipment in our maritime domain. I will be open to further questions later. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. At this point, when I request the spokesperson of the Philippine Coast Guard, Commodore J.T. Tariela, for his introductory remarks.
Good morning, everyone. I have been giving you a daily update about the position of the monster ship, China Coast Guard 5901. As of this morning, the location of China Coast Guard 5901 is 77 nautical miles west of Capones Island. And it's not just the Philippine Coast Guard, BRP Gabriela Silang, who is in the area. It is also supported by the Philippine Coast Guard, BRP Teresa Magmanua, Philippine MRV vessel 9701. So as of this time, we have two Coast Guard vessels pushing the China Coast Guard 5901 move further away from the coast of Zambales. That is the Philippine Coast Guard vessel Gabriela Silang 8301 and 9701, or the BRP Teresa Magmanua.
Thank you, sir. Now, may we call on our AFP spokesperson, Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla, for her introductory remarks.
Good morning, everyone. You've heard all our colleagues here in terms of the status of our West Philippine Sea. The side of the Armed Forces of the Philippines will continue to perform our mandate to protect our waters in terms of conducting the maritime patrols and supporting our BFAR and our Coast Guard accordingly. Meanwhile, our rest of the units of the Armed Forces of the Philippines will also continue to protect the people and secure the state as we have already entered our election period.
Thank you, ma'am. And now our panel is ready for any questions from our different...
Before that, no? Habang nandito na tayo lahat, I'd also like to read another statement regarding the call of certain quarters to immediately convene the National Security Council. Para tapos na mga questions na afterwards. In response to recent calls from certain quarters to immediately convene the National Security Council, we would like to emphasize that there is currently no immediate need to convene the NSC. The President, in consultation with individual members of the National Security Council, is actively addressing pressing national security concerns in a timely fashion. This approach allows for focused and targeted discussions, ensuring that specific issues are addressed with the expertise and input of all relevant stakeholders. Moreover, national security concerns are being addressed by various government agencies based on their respective mandates. This includes the AFP, the PNP, and other security and intelligence agencies which continue to perform their duties to safeguard our nation's interests, people, and territory. The NSC Permanent Secretariat, under the leadership of NSA Eduardo M. Año, also provides strategic guidance and coordinates interagency efforts to address cross-cutting security challenges. The administration continues to focus on a whole of nation approach to national security, recognizing that it is not merely the responsibility of a single council or agency, but a collective endeavor that involves all sectors of society. Nonetheless, the President shall call the NNC to a meeting whenever necessary and at the most appropriate time. End of the statement. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, sir. At this point, the table is open for question.
Thank you. I wish to confirm that in EEZ, generally, inland passage or free navigation is allowed for foreign vessels. Why, can you elaborate why it is inconsistent with these principles?
Well, while it is true that any foreign flag vessel is entitled for a right of innocent passage in somebody else's exclusive economic zone, but the behavior of the Chinese Coast Guard 5901 does not fall with that kind of category. It is because of two main reasons. One, if we're going to look at the movement of the China Coast Guard vessel, it is not continuous and it's not expeditious, meaning it has left turns right arbitrarily. There's no specific reason why they are doing that. And then the second reason why we believe that the Chinese government is really intentionally, illegally patrolling our own exclusive economic zone is because that is already how they challenge the Philippine Coast Guard vessel. The Chinese Coast Guard is calling the Philippine Coast Guard saying that they are carrying out a legitimate law enforcement operation in these waters. That's why we have been responding to the China Coast Guard monster ship, highlighting that they are inside the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines, saying the distance is like 70, 60, or wherever. And highlighting that we have the Philippine Maritime Zones Act, the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea, and the 2016 arbitral ruling, saying that they do not have or they do not possess the legal authority to claim that they have the authority to carry out a law enforcement operation within the Philippines exclusive economic zone.
Thank you. Follow-up question. To which extent Chinese Coast Guard claim its jurisdiction? I know that now some 70 plus miles away from the Philippine island is now the monster ship is now stranded. These areas, are they claiming that this is China's jurisdiction?
Are you asking for how close to the main coastlines? Hello? Yes. Well, for the specific distance of the Chinese Coast Guard as to wherever they claim, they illegally claim our own exclusive economic zone, it varies because it is dependent on how far they are being pushed off. For example, when right now they are in 77 nautical miles and we are challenging them. So they're still saying they have jurisdiction over these waters. Even if we push them away as far as 19 nautical miles, they will still say they have jurisdiction over these waters. So I really don't know what is the specific boundary that they are claiming to be their own waters that they have jurisdiction. In the first place, these are all illegal, so it is immaterial for us to really know where is the extent of their own illegal claim.
Isang batang babae ang muntik ng arestuhin ng pulis dahil sa paglalagay ng napakaraming ilaw habang
Sir, you mentioned, Sir Juneda, that there's concern over the submersible hardware we found in the Philippines zone. In what ways are we able to monitor such hardware? Is it correct to say we have two anti-sub helicopters and only one ship with one sonar on its hull? So can you explain to us the extent of our capabilities monitoring underwater equipment?
We have modest capabilities right now as we speak when it comes to undersea warfare. We have, these are air-launched or air-based systems and sea-based systems. But these are designed for tracking submarines. These possible drones are small, 2.5 to 3.5 meters in length. I would like to highlight the indispensable role of our fisher folks. We have already recovered 5 of these. They were given to us, the reports were given to us by our fishermen. And it's difficult to detect these drones underwater. But when they're on the surface, they become visible. They get picked up by our fisher folks and they report to the police and then eventually to the AFP, the Philippine Navy.
Sir, follow-up, what are our plans of beefing up monitoring of underwater hardware, and also, because there were reports last year from fishermen in the area of BDM that may tubo na daw nakita sa sir, any update on that?
Yes, yung nabanggit last year ng Matubo, we did further investigation of that. It came out na hindi naman siya ayon sa sinasabi na gumagawa ng reclamation ang mga bansa doon. Yung ating development sa AFP is geared towards the 4 domains of warfare: cyber, air, surface, and subsurface. Part of the subsurface component would include undersea warfare. But again, yung ganito drone, these are launched from a mothership. So ensuring that we know what's out there through our maritime domain awareness capability would help us track any mothership that could launch such drones.
Good morning, Miguel Flores of Reuters. I wondered that just on the drones, can you identify where these 5 were recovered, and can we now say now who owns them? And to AG Malay, what's different when it comes to China's behavior over the past several days on the maritime because it has been in control of Scarborough Shoal and the waters around it since 2012. So what's different now, and what's the bigger cause of concern that the Philippines is seeing?
Of the 5 that were given to us for forensics, 2 were found in Calayan Island up north, 1 off the coast of Pasukin in Ilocos, the most recent one in Masbate, and another one in Initaw, the waters of Initaw, Misamis Oriental.
In answer to your question, since 2012, Baho de Masinloc, the lagoon of Baho de Masinloc has been under the control of the People's Republic of China. Ever since, that has been the status quo in that area. But lately, we were surprised about the increasing aggression being shown by the People's Republic of China in deploying the monster ship. And the monster ship is not close to Baho de Masinloc, it's getting closer also to the Philippines, to the Philippine coastline. As mentioned by Commodore J. Tariela, it's 7 nautical miles from the Pusik Zambales. So that is alarming. And our assessment of that situation is that it's a clear effort on the part of the PRC to intimidate our Filipino fishermen, who simply rely on fishing as part of their livelihood. And I think the message that we'd also like to convey to the People's Republic of China is that we will continue to support our fishermen. If the objective is to intimidate our fishermen, then this increases the resolve of the Philippine government to continue supporting our fishermen. For the past several months, we have been conducting a fisherman's congress in various parts of the Philippines. The last one was in Palawan, expressing to our fishermen the constant support that we will give them in exercising what is legitimate Philippine rights, economic rights within the exclusive economic zone.
Who owns the drones that were recovered?
Yeah. The drones right now are in the forensic laboratory of the Philippine Navy in partnership with our treaty ally.
And you have identified who had ownership of this? Who owns these drones that were recovered?
This will be, right over here in the Philippines, the forensics process will take 6 to 8 weeks. We have the results of the first one, which was recovered in Calayan. Forensics only started last August of last year.
What's the result, sir?
The result is that these are designed to gather mathematical data, specifically depth, salinity, oxygen level, temperature of the water. These information will have commercial value, it will have academic value, it could also have, with the crisscrossing of information right now, it could also have military purposes or applications. Yes, it could also have military applications. Not yet. The appropriate report will be given out by the appropriate government agency or body.
Sir, from AFP, sir, I guess anyone can answer. What do you expect China to do next after pushing patrols to within 60 nautical miles of Luzon? And will China enforce air defense identification zone next? And what does this mean for aviation? And also, how are we preparing for that, if ever?
I'm sorry, but I will not respond to that question. Probably China might learn something from us. No? So we don't want to speculate what's next for China.
Certainly, this is Noriyuki from NHK. So just I want to clarify, so Chinese disbehaviors, if any like 5901, the monster ships, is this the new behaviors? I mean, like even last year's, we heard lots of like this ships intrusions to the Philippines, EEZ. But since this beginning of the years, like continuously, the ships is coming, leaving, and coming back again, and they're sticking on the lines, it seems. So, do you can say like this is like a new behavior from the Chinese Coast Guard?
Yes, I would say this is something new, based on our observation with the other Chinese Coast Guard vessels. Because before, they are only patrolling in those areas that are pretty much contested, and there is always a support of the Chinese Maritime Militia swarming. Most of the deployment of the Chinese Coast Guard are dependent on one, whether they're blocking the deploy operation in Second Roma Shoal, whether they are supporting the swarming of the Chinese Maritime Militia in Union Bank or in Iraq 48 or in Scholar Shoal. Third, whenever they are shadowing the movement of the Philippine Coast Guard vessel in the Kalayaan Island group or even in Bautista Masinloc. But this time around, the behavior of the Chinese Coast Guard is intentional and focused only at a certain distance from off the coast of Zambales. As I said, it's either 60 to 90 nautical miles. And based on our initial assessment, although this may not be the definitive answer for such behavior, but if you're going to overlap the 9-dash line and the area of the concentrated operation of 5901, you can see that the area that they are operating is actually focused on the 4th dash of the 10-dash line of the Chinese Coast Guard. That is the main reason why the Philippine Coast Guard, as supported by the National Task Force West Philippine Sea, is on a day-to-day challenging the presence of the China Coast Guard. Because we believe that the intention of the Chinese government is to normalize the presence of the China Coast Guard in this area because of the 4th dash line that they have. And the Philippine Coast Guard, what we're doing there is hour by hour and day-to-day challenging the illegal presence of the Chinese Coast Guard 5901 for the international community to know that we're not going to allow China to normalize the illegal deployment of the China Coast Guard, because that's what they have been doing. They're going to normalize, change the status quo, and then operationalize and claim that they have been doing this for the past months or years. So for the Coast Guard, we are documenting this illegal presence of China Coast Guard and telling the world that the Philippine government is against this unlawful presence of the Chinese Coast Guard 5901.
Good morning, Celerina Mote from NHK. Sir, I'm just wondering, how long or up to what extent would the Philippine government tolerate this kind of activities by China, even getting closer to the land? And if the Philippines is just like conducting major challenges to these CCG vessels, and if ever, what are the other options for the Philippines?
First and foremost, let me just clarify that we are not tolerating their presence. No? In fact, we're challenging them every single day. Right now, we have 2 Philippine Coast Guard vessels shadowing them, closely monitoring them. We have sent assets also from the armed forces and from the Philippine Coast Guard, aerial assets, to continue monitoring them. And our maritime domain awareness has been focused specifically on the illegal presence of the Chinese Coast Guard vessel. Now, as to what future steps we are to undertake, the National Maritime Council already called for the withdrawal of this monster ship from Philippine waters. No? The NMC issued a statement yesterday asking the Chinese government to withdraw this monster ship because it is clearly an it's an illegal presence in our waters. No? But insofar as the objective of this presence which is to intimidate our fishermen and intimidate us, no, we can clearly state that the intimidation tactics are not successful, and that we remain resolved, no, to support our Filipino fishermen, and we will not stop challenging their presence within Philippine waters.
So sir, apart now from challenging, are there any other options? Like you go to another national court or whatever? I just wondering.
I think that question is better addressed by the National Maritime Council, because that is the body that handles policy matters, insofar as our concerns with the PRC are concerned.
Good morning po. For Commodore Calero po, kahapon po na-report po na nag-overheat yung BRP Teresa Magbanwa. Bakit po siya nag-overheat? Dahil po ba nasagat po ito or na-overuse? And karaniwan po ba itong nangyayari sa mga barko na dinideploy natin to monitor Chinese vessels?
I'm not an engineer, to explain why there was an overheating. But right now, the Philippine Coast Guard 9701 is back in the game. They're once again blocking the China Coast Guard 5901. It is not a serious derangement. It was just a very minor one. It only took them like less than 6 hours to probably give some time for all the engines to rest, and then eventually went back to the location of the China Coast Guard 5901.
For ADG Malaya naman po, layo na po ako konti dun sa usapin ng ground. Sa diplomatic side naman po tayo. Ano po yung developments and updates sa diplomatic efforts natin with China? And meron po ba tayong niluluto mga deals or nag-i-start na po ng discussion with them?
First and foremost, we already made that call for the PRC to withdraw the monster ship. For reasons that, number one, as mentioned by Commodore Jake Ariela, we do not want to normalize this kind of behavior. It is an escalation and provocative. And the presence of the monster ship, 77 nautical miles off Capones Island in Zambales, is really not acceptable. But since we have mechanisms, diplomatic mechanisms with the PRC, we will utilize all of those diplomatic mechanisms. I was told by the Department of Foreign Affairs that they will raise this matter. They have already issued a diplomatic protest against the presence of the monster ship, and that they will exhaust diplomatic efforts to also relay this message to the PRC that the presence of the monster ship is illegal and unacceptable to the Philippine government.